First conversation was about the level of insecurity. And all the suggestions I had is about whether the army is motivated, whether there is sufficient budgeting, whether we get value for the budget. Those are legitimate questions. But what was lacking is the appreciation of the fact that insecurity is a consequence. And the military can only deal with that consequence. What is the cause of insecurity? If you don't deal with the causes of insecurity, you'll be behaving like the uninformed young man or woman in my village, according to our proverb, that was walking on the street, fell, entered a deep hole, and broke his leg, and then went straight to the hospital. The wise man will find out why he fell, fix it so that the other guy passing through that same route will not fall again. There's just one thing I want to amplify, which I think if we had sustained, some of the insecurity we are dealing with today may not have been as complex as they have become. IBB, when I was in NIPS in 1987, one of the subjects we discussed was the wisdom behind what IBB government described as nomadic education. That was 1987. Because he saw that, given the reality of climatic change and our capacity to multiply our population because we are productive in some other ways, and our land mass will never expand, some old habits and methods of grazing are no longer going to be sustainable. And for the herders to benefit from modern methods, they have to be educated. And so he created nomadic education, so that the fact of being a nomad can't justify why you don't have opportunity to go to school, to learn, to be taught by qualified teachers, so that you can benefit from modern methods. Now, this policy, I remember in NIPS, we got somebody to come and talk to us about this policy. And over the years, this was discarded by subsequent government. So when I hear today about bandits, and I watch video clips about bandits who can't speak English, and I even saw one lady who said the bandits were asking them to teach them English. And I'm asking myself, these bandits, who are they? I want to hazard a guess that these were probably people, Nigerians, young people, whose successive government, in spite of the provisions of the universal basic education, we left as many as 50% of our children who ought to be in school, they are not in school and they are begging. At the age of 40, they can't continue to beg. They are not educated. They can't speak English, so you can't empower them. And they just find that kidnapping can result in millions of dollars or naira be paid. And today we are discussing bandit. We have difficulties distinguishing between a terrorist and a bandit. Who are these bandits? It is the failure of many, many years ago of governments at all levels to recognize that every child that you did not send to school will get to a point where he will not be able to do any other fears except what some of them are doing now. But as I said, I didn't come here to cry. Maybe that part of IBB legacy which says every Nigerian, including nomads, have a right to education, that we resolve here that any parent, any government, state or federal or local government that does not implement the basic, compulsory basic education is guilty as charged. Because those children you didn't educate, what empowerment are you going to give them? And then on democracy, I've heard views that appear contradictory. We want to zone what? Zone the right to serve. It is your turn to do what? There are some implied self-interest in all of that. And the one really provocative question I want to make is that people must understand that to be a technocrat doesn't make you competent leader. The qualities of leadership don't flow from classroom. And I want to repeat that. And that is why sometimes in the US, both Republican and Democrat, if you watch CNN at the eve of the elections, they will say they have challenges getting an electable material. To be electable is not necessary to be educated, to be a professor, to be a technocrat. There are other leadership abilities. And I think one of the things IBB taught us is that you can unite the country by going around the 36 states and FCT. You will find competent, able technocrats to manage different aspects of the Nigeria polity, society, and economy. You don't have to be president to contribute. And that is why if anybody can have a compendium of those who play different responsible roles, policy-making roles in Nigeria or the IBB, you will find that virtually all the 774 local government can point to somebody who was appointed on account of what value it can add. So I want to salute you for bringing this, for organizing this thing, because we don't really celebrate leaders until they are no more. It's nice to be celebrated when you are around. As a union man, we had a opportunity to interact with IBB. And there are a few things I learned. If he doesn't get an answer for you, he creates a platform to keep talking while he is taking of the answer. So he's not elected. He's not bound to allow conversation. He can decree, as military always, I decree as follows. And it's a law. But the country was encouraged to debate and debate and debate. And to be honest, not to debate. We are all somehow guilty. So I want to appeal to the panelists, because when I listen to people talking about it, I spent all my life until I became a governor interrogating power, questioning some of the decisions. And one of the IBB legacies, I'm not sure I agree with it or I don't agree, but he was a thinker. He believed that government cannot continue to run everything.